All right, welcome to episode 55 of Black Male Material with your illustrious hosts. And shout out to all of the new viewers we had on our Judge Judy Erotica episode. I'm looking at the YouTube analytics. We have 63% reached our video through the search term erotica. So I'm really sorry about that. Maybe we'll try to be more erotic.
I'm not sorry about that at all. Because there is a percentage, there is a non-zero number of those people that reached their target. They searched erotica and they found us. That's a non-zero value, and I'm fine with that.
I'm really bummed out about all the Judge Judy fans that clicked on our video and didn't get what they were looking for.
I was going to say.
Again, I think right on target.
There's nothing wrong with Judge Judy fans, Dave.
That's what I'm saying. And there's nothing wrong with going from Judge Judy to Black Male Material. It all sounds like it would fit.
Yeah.
Sort of a courtroom vibe.
You know, and regardless of where they came from, whether it's the search terms or the Judge Judy videos, we had a pretty good retention rate. You know, people made it about 15 minutes before they gave up on us. So
I was listening to that episode again this morning, and the only thing I could think of, with knowing the knowledge of the people who migrated over from Judge Judy, is we need to bring up Judge Judy every single episode now. And have that be our weird target demo.
So it used to be anime weebs, and now it's Judge Judy aficionados.
We just need to marry those two things together somehow. And I believe we were discussing it earlier with just a Judge Judy anime as a Netflix series. I think would be good. Also, how is there no courtroom Netflix series yet?
Yeah, how is Phoenix Wright not a cartoon?
How is Phoenix Wright not a cartoon? Do you know that game, Jack?
No, I don't know. I thought
it was for the
anime.
Game Boy, or was it also on the DS?
It was a DS
I think it was
game.
on the Game Boy Advance first. Like, it's that old. But
it was set in the Pokemon universe where
it actually looks like Pokemon a little bit. It's an anime game about being a courtroom lawyer.
Yes. And you yell objection.
Riveting.
Yeah.
Is that like, do you go into battles like you would with Pokemon battles? And it's just your lawyer versus the prosecution or whatever? I'm just assuming you're the person who's guilty or on trial for something.
Basically, instead of using like Charmander uses flamethrower, it's Phoenix Wright uses bloody rag.
Is it really what it is? I've never played that game.
Oh, right. Evidence. I forgot.
Yeah.
Is it really like that? Like, use bloody rag as evidence or something?
I have seen 5 minutes of gameplay video about a decade ago, so I'm going to say yes, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. No, that'd be a good Netflix show. I would watch that. I wouldn't watch that much anime, but no, I'd go for it.
That's 5 more minutes of Phoenix Wright than I've ever watched, so...
Yeah.
I'm glad to be your source.
Now. You are my source for almost everything anime.
Anime correspondent, that's me.
Yeah.
But between the three of us, the amount of anime that we know about is both surprisingly high and really surprisingly low for our level of nerdiness. It's like a really weird amount, you know? We're like right on that line where it's like, these guys are such nerds. They would know all sorts of anime bullshit. But also, wow, these guys know nothing about anime. We really are there. It's so
Here's
strange.
the thing. I think it's a lot like when people talk about porn in public. They really want to pretend that they don't know that much about porn, and they don't want to let on how much they know about all the sort of weird workarounds that you need to do in order to plumb the depths of internet pornography.
What the thing with that is, like, I didn't even want to admit how true that statement was.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I have a couple funny stories about that stuff, but do I want to put it out there on the internet? No. Not really.
Or in public to someone.
Or in public, yeah.
Only our patrons will get that premium feed.
That's right.
I think years ago, Kevin, you once asked me, like, I think we were all just like hanging out.
Oh God, I'm so scared.
I know.
You brought up
my memory's terrible. Dave's is amazing, so it's like a new discovery about yourself every time.
Yeah,
Dave remembers something.
Well, Kevin, you came to the realization that if you go up to like a group of guys and ask every single person top 5 porn stars, they'll all be completely different, and no one will have heard of any of the other ones because there's so many.
Younger me was oddly, what is that word?
Reflective?
Perceptive, I think.
Perceptive. Okay.
Like, I still think that is a very accurate statement. I think
it is.
With time, it's only proven more correct. Now you have to, calculate for Instagram models also, and
no.
Snapchat, purveyors. So like,
Snapchat porn still a thing?
is Snapchat still a thing?
That's
Yeah.
that's the
still
operative question.
It still technically exists,
I
even though the co-founder died of a cocaine overdose.
I feel like they were like oddly foreboding about it because their icon was a ghost. So it was always foretold that it would become some sort of internet wasteland.
Well, the whole thing with Snapchat was like the product is ephemeral in its like design, because it goes away. That's the whole thing.
Is that why it's a ghost?
Yeah.
Oh God, this is a real
That makes so
this is a
much
real
sense.
like Phoenix Down moment,
Yeah.
or like a Tinder moment where I find out, oh, it's about making sparks.
Yep.
They are way more clever than I thought.
No, but what was the thing with Snapchat? Oh, but like what was weird about them was they were one of the, at least for a while, they were like the only like startup technology company that wasn't based in San Francisco, but they're based in LA instead. And Snapchat also has like it's incredibly small. For a long time, I think it was only like 20 people worked there. Like it was like a really, really tight knit startup.
Yeah, and I actually had a friend who left Amazon to work at Snapchat, and they used to have their offices on Venice Beach. Literally, those buildings that line the boardwalk, their offices were right there.
Yeah.
And he would send me Snapchats out the window, and it would just be the beach. And I was super jealous because what tech office has their building right on the beach?
Right now, right?
That was insane.
Yeah. Oh man,
But now
that would be the
it's
best.
not like that anymore. Yeah,
I'm looking up
moved.
Snapchat spectacles because I think that was like my favorite goofy thing
God.
about Snapchat. I had
remember
never
that?
signed on to the platform, but I thought the Snapchat spectacles were like, they were basically in another attempt at Google Glass where they had a camera embedded into the frame and then you could take videos.
They look like fashionista sunglasses, pretty much. They were kind of big and gaudy, and they were brightly colored. They were like yellow and pink and blue. And they did these like limited release where they would pop up these spectacles vending machines in cities.
Yes,
And
I remember
they
this.
wouldn't tell you where or when they were going to be popped up. And they were a limited supply. And so they generated all this hype around it. And then when people found out where they dropped, they would run to the location to buy these spectacles. And they were $150, right? Something like that. They were over $100.
I
then-
kind of want them in a post-ironic way, but they're still selling
Totally.
the Model 2 line, and they are all way too expensive for just a meme.
What are they selling for?
They're starting at $150
Oh my God.
Are they still doing it?
for these. Like, they look like only clout chasers would wear these. They're really oddly circular and very reflective. And then you can get yourself a Nico or a Veronica, which basically just look like weird Ray-Bans with,
Oh God.
cameras in there. 2 cameras in there.
They're on Prime for $100. At least the first generation are.
Now, you've had a recent Prime experience that makes me wonder if deals are too good to be true
it was
on
not-
Amazon Prime.
So
Walk us through.
It was not a Prime experience. I found out. So I wanted to
It's
get
subprime.
the product that it was surprise. Thank you. The product I wanted to get was really interesting, and I wanted to get it because A, I want it, and B, it would be cool to talk about in the pod. I wanted to get an NVIDIA Shield. Have you guys heard about that?
Now, why would one get a NVIDIA Shield? What is the point of that
So
product?
it's like I already have a Steam link, which is like it can stream your computer to your TV, right?
You are
it
one
also-
of those 8 people?
So no, I mean it was a Christmas present.
Okay.
I didn't buy a Steam Link. Jesus.
Okay.
Well, they're only like what, $20? It's not that much money.
Well, no, they were
what
like
they do.
100. They were like 120 when I was given one.
Whoops.
No, but because it's like one of the first generation of them. But no, but it can do that. It's also what it could give you smart TV functionality, but it's also an Android game console. So and it can run and you can load emulators onto it. So you can basically run any game ever on it, and it's this extremely powerful little gaming PC that just plugs into your TV.
And you're using
From NVIDIA.
all of your own SNES backups, right? Nothing nothing below ground here. Nothing shady.
No, nothing shady. I assume. I don't know.
The cool thing for me about the Shield, as I was looking it up, because you had told us about it, I didn't know what it was that you can play AAA games on cloud machines that will stream the video back to your Shield. That is crazy to me.
Yeah, that's the other thing it does. It's like extremely powerful because it can do that.
Right. And like I think people were talking about that sort of technology where you would get a cloud PC with, ridiculous hardware to run your games and then just sort of stream it back to your TV. That way you just have to have a little box.
Well,
never took off until
people
now.
People have been doing that for a while. For a few years, people have been doing this thing where you can I guess you rent space. Like, how much is it to rent Amazon Web Services for time? It's 30 cents an hour or something.
Well, it definitely depends on how powerful your PC is, but yeah.
So it's essentially you would say it's 30 cents an hour, right? You can my understanding is you could rent space on AWS server that's really powerful, and then they would set up a partition. You would install Windows to that partition, and then can use it as a really powerful gaming PC off of an AWS server.
Yeah.
And as long as your internet connection is good, you can essentially do that and just do cloud computing gaming. And people have been doing that for a couple of years, but it just hasn't really taken off.
Yeah. It's interesting to see a big company come through and do something like this because presumably they could kind of work out the kinks where they would have their own, VM. They would have their own virtual machine, which is sort of optimized for streaming video and gaming. And so they could have optimized that link between the cloud PC and your TV. And I'm curious to see how well it works.
So my cousin got me into it. My cousin's in his 40s. He's older than me. But because he's older, he's been into emulators recently, and he got one. And him and I were talking about it, and I've never really been super into emulators, but you'd think I would be. So I'm hoping I would can get into it. But I was reading about it, and there's some consoles old a Sega CD or something, or some of the older Sega consoles where they still have not been able to make emulators that can run those games for whatever reason. The way the actual console's computer is set up, it's been proven really difficult to make emulators work.
It's oddly hardware based in some situations, whereas the Super Nintendo has been basically cracked at this point. But things like the 3DO have just weird proprietary hardware that barely anyone knows about and can not recreate completely with calculation.
I think it's the Sega Genesis. They've until this year or 2018 or whatever, they've been unable to make a good Sega Genesis emulator for whatever reason. It just has not worked. But yeah,
So you got the Shield or not?
I didn't. I have not. So funny story
What
is, I went on Amazon, searched NVIDIA Shield, saw the first link. Oh, it's on sale, $150. Boom, bought it. I had a gift card. I'm all right, fine. So then I look down. I get an email confirmation, and stuff. I'm fine. And then a couple days later, I'm where is it? And I'm my first reaction is, oh shit! Apparently, it's not for sale on Prime, which I just bought the thing without looking at the first link because I trust Amazon like an idiot, I suppose. And then I'm why is it not on Prime? And then it's oh man, why is it not? Why is it going to take up to a month to deliver? That's so weird. And then I look at the tracking info, and it says it started in Boston, got shipped to New Hampshire. I'm that's weird. And then got shipped to Danville, Kentucky. I'm okay, maybe it's a distribution center. And then it said it was delivered to my house, but the Postal Service tracking information says it was still in Kentucky. It says it was delivered to Kentucky, right? So my first reaction is, oh fuck, maybe it's something with the government shutdown because it was using the USPS Postal Service. Maybe that fucked up their tracking system or something. That was my first reaction.
That's a weird first reaction, but that's a very Dave reaction.
It's probably not wrong.
It's not the most out of the ballpark either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it turned, and then a couple days later, I went on Amazon to see what's up, and I realized that I hadn't bought it from NVIDIA. I bought it from an Amazon seller that I don't even know how to say the name. It was like FWEG. It was like Fuegiguog. It was just like random letters.
Yeah.
They didn't even go with NVIDIA or
No, they didn't even. They
didn't even try.
They didn't even try to fake it.
NVIDIOso,
And
nothing
I'm like,
even.
Oh,
All right.
No, and all the reviews of them are like 1-star reviews. They're like, "This is a scam. This is a scam. This is a scam. Don't buy the thing. It's a scam." And I'm like, "Oh fuck."
Oh, man.
But I did Amazon's customer service, which I was dreading. I was worried it would be really bad. But they do like this thing where you put in your phone number and they call you, and like a person called me, and I talked to a real fucking human, and Amazon was immediately like, "Oh fuck, we're gonna open an investigation, and also Amazon is gonna refund me if the seller doesn't refund me." So I'm gonna wait a few days, and then I'm gonna buy the Shield, which is on Prime. I've discovered since.
Sold
Yeah.
through NVIDIA, yeah.
So, and actually get it. We'll talk about it at a later pod. But that's been my travail. So, kids, when you're buying
good.
stuff on Amazon, just only make sure you have the Field 2 only on Prime.
Yeah.
Because honestly, to me, if a thing is not on Prime at this point, it like doesn't actually exist.
Very suspect. Definitely an Alibaba Express.
There's like one.
Straight from China.
I don't know. It's like who's it? Julian likes a DHgate service. I'm
Yes.
like,
Kevin
I'm
likes
like-
that too.
I'm waiting at the edge of the pool. I'm waiting to dive into the DH gate with just. I want to get a crate of hype beast wear and just really just dive in.
Yeah.
I kind of want to get like part of me is like so worried about that service. I'm like, if I wanted to, there's some stuff like, because Julian has like the knockoff Eagles jersey I got for like $20. I'm like, that'd be a good deal, but I'm like, should I just like open a new credit card just for this for like in anticipate the fraud?
Get one of those Visa gift card things where you load it with cash. That way, if that number is
yeah.
compromised, it is not linked to you in any significant way.
Yeah.
Oh, good call. Thank you.
Yeah, do that.
I'm gonna do that one.
So
Julian's like, it's real.
it is real. I have seen
it
products
exists.
from the site. I've seen purses, and they look legitimate as a
All right, before we
complete.
lose everybody, can we explain what DHgate is?
So DHgate is basically every sort of weird back alley fake merchant you've ever seen on like a city street, but just on the internet.
Is that where they get that stuff from?
That's a great question.
They
I
just
have
go
no
down to the
idea if
corner
they're
of
just.
Canal Street.
Yeah, I have no
I
idea.
realized that. Where are they getting this shit from? Like, yeah, is it Canal Street in New York, or like if you're in the like that part of the Italian market in South Philly that's like not food but just like knock off everything? You know what I mean?
Why are you asking? Who's asking? Why do you want to know?
Who's
Who are you talking to?
Like,
Who's
where are you
asking,
getting
huh?
this shit from?
Shut up. Do you want it or not?
I don't know.
Literally, you walk down the corner of Canal Street and Bowery or something. I don't know, somewhere in the corner of between Soho and like the edge of Chinatown or whatever. And there's it's the purse corner. Everybody's slinging fake purses, and you see the dudes kind of walking next to the ladies, like, I got Prada, real Prada, and then just kind of walk, holding it in their face. That's where they get it. That's all DHgate.
What is the difference? Like, is it does the purse just like deteriorate the second like water falls on it? Like, what is really the difference between them?
It's a whole rabbit hole if you really want to get into it. There are plenty of YouTube comparison videos where they're talking about like, okay, we have a genuine off-white Nike and a bootleg one. Here, look at the tag on this. Look at the height of the like upper. Look at the the transparency of the like side panel. It gets real nitty-gritty.
Man,
So overall, what's the end of it? Is the fake knockoff stuff pretty good, or is it shit that just looks the same?
It looks like 92%. Like the only way you would be able to do it is by taking the shoe off of the person, bringing it up to eye level, and then having the genuine article next to it to compare. Because like unless you know the exact like hue and saturation of the off-white orange label, it looks close enough.
yeah.
Huh.
You know what's really funny is Julian has a DHgate Eagles jersey, and I have like a real one. He paid $20. I used a gift card that was $100 for mine. His looks better than mine.
You know, I was thinking
And that
when you
makes me
said
really mad.
when you said Julian got like Eagles merchandise, I wonder if there's a whole realm of Gritty merch that is just
Yes.
bootleg junk looking Gritty, and what that even looks like.
I'll tell you this: there's a whole realm of upscale Gritty merch all
Yeah, I was
over
about to say.
South Philly right now. Shout out to South Fellini for selling all that shit.
Like the legitimate article is already a meme. So how, if you were some sort of, you know, parody account, what do you even do with that?
I think basically what they've done is they did what Steam did to bootleg games, where it's just like Steam was just like, we'll just make the price so low it'll be more trouble to bootleg it than just pay. I think what Philly sports teams have done now with the marketing is like, we're just gonna make it so much of a meme you can't do anything to it, because like that's what all they're doing now. They're just doing meme. There's just a meme factory.
Genius.
Like,
Question. Do you think the Philly fanatic is really mad that Gritty is getting all this attention for being some sort of goofy costume Muppet? And the Philly fanatic's like, I've been here this whole fucking time.
Yeah, and the Fanatic's
The
really
fuck?
old.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at the Gritty merch now. There is a
From South
Gritty and
Fellini.
Philly fanatic t-shirt in the style of Step Brothers the movie. Very good. It starts off at $12.95, but if you get 8 of them, they come down to $9.66 a shirt.
It's a pretty big savings, honestly.
This Keep It Gritty shirt is a very anime-esque version of Gritty. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah. Yep, there's a whole Gritty for 2020.
The 2020 Gritty.
I like the one that's just it's just what Gritty's made out of, and it's sort of like you know those like pictures of a cow. It's like what cut is what.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that, but with Gritty, and it's just like, oh, it's just PBR, Gatorade, pretzels, the South Broad Street sign, a pigeon for his toes, a Stanley Cup. Yeah, it's just that.
So
It's pretty funny.
this one says, no one likes me, I don't care, and it's Gritty doing the Instagram model butt pose to the front of the shirt.
Yeah,
This is very good.
Honestly, only in Philadelphia can this shit fly.
yeah. Is it from South Fellini? Because all their shit's pretty fucking good.
This is a DHgate special. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what's genuine and what's fake
You
anymore.
think you need to go to the Philadelphia-born knockoff sports store? You can just go to the worldwide knockoff sports store and get whatever you need.
For bulk prices.
The city's finally made it, guys. We're up there on DHgate. Our shit's real. That's
So
how
you're
you know
saying-
you've made it.
You're saying on DHgate, like, they have these discounts if I order, like, 10 Back to the Future Nike Air Maxes or Air Mags or whatever, I get a discount.
You need to
So I
get
can
your
order-
friends into a pyramid scheme and just
Yeah.
get as many Air Force Ones in a crate as possible.
You could buy more shoes that have ever existed in the real version as fakes, and then for a discount. How cool is that?
Get a group email going. You know, cue the office. Hey, who wants some Prestos?
Here's my question. What do you think is like the reverse engineering process to make the fakes? You know what I mean? Like, do you think they buy one, or do you think they could do it just from pictures? How do you think they do it?
I'll tell you how they do it.
Oh.
There's a man in China with a factory, and they said, how about we just keep the press going, and then I'm going to sell these on the side.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
I already
sorta what
have all the
figured.
shit. I already have all the cardboard boxes. Print money. Keep the Gritty shirts coming forever.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's the fakes you want. You want the fakes that are actually just the real thing, but without the logo
Yeah.
or without the label.
Hold
It's the
on.
same quality.
So,
actually
I don't know how you
Cooler.
find that, but yeah. Yeah, it could be cooler, yeah.
so in the same Gritty merch query, I have Banana Man, Man of Peel, and it is a Batman style protagonist, but his cape and shield is just a giant banana peel, and he looks to be holding some sort of World War I era veteran in his arms.
He's holding a human veteran.
Yeah. You gotta specify, man.
I was kind of wondering, yeah.
Because think about all the horses of war. They're veterans too. They deserve the props, Jack.
Are there more horses in some war than humans? Am I spewing nonsense? Is that a false statement?
You could
In the Centaur Wars.
You can technically the Mongols, I guess technically, because each one of those guys had 5 horses. That's how it would work.
It was a 5-to-1 ratio?
Yeah, they just each had 5 horses, and the horses would follow them around like a dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if the first horse goes down, he just hops on the next one in line?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what they would do. But that's the most that's the actually kind of answer to your question, Jack. Technically, yeah, I suppose.
That's cool. Speaking of weird shit, I went to an art exhibit yesterday. You know me and weird art exhibits. So
I'm enthralled already.
There's in New York, out in Queens, there's MoMA in downtown or in Manhattan, which is the sort of the Museum of Modern Art, super classic, is very well known. And then they have this secondary space in Queens, and it's called MoMA PS1. And they feature more kind of out there, up and coming artists and stuff like that. And they do a lot of music. So
is it an old school?
Yes.
PS1? Yeah.
Yeah. How did you know that?
One of the few things I know about New York, Jack, is how the schools are organized. Because Deus went to PS12Q for Queens.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is this naming convention?
They're just numbered and sometimes with a letter to designate borough. So Q, all the Q ones are Queens. I assume there's B for Brooklyn, etc.
Maybe it was originally PS1Q. Yeah, because it's a converted school. This gallery.
Yeah, it's like Bach in South Philly.
Yeah, and so it's pretty cool. So you kind of get out to Queens and go in there. And so they were featuring this guy, Bruce Nauman. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation, but they had a whole sort of series of exhibits from him. And his whole thing was he'd do presence art, sound art, a lot of video stuff, not so much paintings. And so there was a couple cool ones. One, he had this room. So just imagine a big normal room. Nothing special about it. There's nothing on the walls or the ceilings. There's a single red light bulb in the middle of the room, and it's pretty dark. And what he had done was he had drywalled in speakers into the walls, so you couldn't see them. They were behind the drywall, and he was just in a voice going, "Get out of the room! You must leave the room! Get out of the room!" And you couldn't tell where it was coming from because you couldn't see the speakers. And so you just walk into this room, and it was very creepy.
So it just made the set of a horror movie.
Yeah,
that's great.
So you just kind of walked into the room. You couldn't see where the speakers were at all, and it's just him whispering, "Get out of the room," and then they would switch where the speakers are coming from. You couldn't see. So that was really cool.
Are you sure that wasn't just the world's easiest escape room?
You just get out of the room. Yeah, cool.
Okay, cool. Woo! Yeah, you won a prize.
Okay, bye. Yeah, and that transitioned pretty nicely into clown torture. This exhibit where he had 5 TVs in a room. He had filmed a clown in sort of, it was the 1980s, so it was kind of your old style camcorder stuff. He had just filmed a clown in a warehouse who was standing in the middle of the room, and he was just screaming, just help, help. And these clowns were all screaming help. And so I'm kind of walking through the gallery, and I just hear these clown screamings, and they're drawing me in, And so I walk down the hall, I just open the door, and there's just 6 video monitors of clowns just screaming help like they're being tortured.
Oh, wait, I've seen this.
Are you sure this isn't a haunted
You've
house?
Seen this?
I've seen this in the Met, yes. There's just a video of a lady in clown makeup, and she's just saying, "I'm sorry for what I did. I don't know what I did. I'm sorry for what I did." And she's just on loop forever. But you think it's one video, because it loops 8 times over, but then on the 9th time, it just changes just a little bit. It's oh no, this lady has been saying the same thing, just slightly varied for an hour. I think this must be the same guy. There's no way there's 2 people that came to this thought independently.
I guess maybe clowns are more of a art staple than we think. I don't know. So yeah, some of these exhibits were pretty interesting. Some of them were sort of missed the mark for me. But there was one other there was one other artist that featured that was basically, it was one of the coolest exhibits I've ever seen. So it's this old school, and you're sort of walking, you're on the third floor, and there's a little plaque next to this door, and the door is like any other room to any other gallery door. So you open it, and you walk in, and it's really cold. It's like you just stepped outside, and you're kind of looking around like, why is it so cold? And it's just this blank room with these simple wooden benches around the outside. It's a square room. And you look up, and there's a perfectly square hole in the ceiling that leads to outside. And these beautiful white walls that sort of start halfway up the wall and just sort of carry over to the ceiling to this square. So it's this perfectly white room with this square hole in the ceiling and these beautiful white walls. And it was fascinating because it's sort of like the walls blended into the outside, and you were just standing there looking up at the sky, but this like perfectly square piece of sky. And, planes would fly over, and it was so calming because it was so unexpected. You just open the door and boom, you're outside, but you're inside at the same time. It was really cool.
Here's my question. Not to ruin all art based on ceiling holes. Is there
of course.
What do they do when it rains? Is there like a hole? Is there a drain in the floor, or is there?
You're participating in the art, Dave.
Yeah, but doesn't that fuck up the building?
Yeah. So I was talking to the lady. Apparently, there's a skylight that motorizes over top.
Okay.
When and they close it if there's a chance of rain.
And they close,
so you can't even be out there.
They close the room down, basically.
They close the room down, yeah.
Because then it's like, oh no, the rain's like, we can't have this indoor-outdoor art.
Right. I was confused because I had asked her, is this an outdoor space that you put walls in, or was this just a room that you cut a hole in? Because I was expecting the first answer. She's like, no, it's a room. We cut a hole in it. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's pretty cool. All right, sure. He was really fascinated with long, skinny hallways, which is a strange thing to be fascinated with. But in the gallery, he had built these really long corridors he like framed out walls and just put them really close together, and so they were like 1.5 feet across, and he would have you walk down the corridor.
Isn't that a massive fire
hazard?
Really
claustrophobic. Good question.
See, this is my problem with modern art. Is like, I see it.
What? That it's a fire hazard?
My first reaction is to like ruin it, because I'm like, how did they make like when it's like big, cool, weird metalworking? My first thing is like, man, I wonder what this design process is like with like the welding.
Call the landlord.
I'm like,
get him on the phone.
Like, the hallway that's like narrow. And I'm like, man, my first reaction is literally like, man, how did they get this through like the fire safety inspection?
Did you call a surveyor from the city?
Art. I'm like the worst person. What?
It's like, call the city surveyor. What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
New York City's just got too many things to worry about. There's just too many. The amount of times you go into a restaurant where the bathroom is literally just a converted closet is staggering.
Yeah. And it's just like a rat is a bathroom attendant.
Yeah.
Bathroom attendants make me feel weird.
I don't like it.
No.
Yeah, right?
Is it supposed to be comforting? Is it supposed to be like, a friend?
Well, I think I know why. I think it's really
a friend you feel really, really bad for.
Yeah.
It's more there's a guy to prevent drunk people from fucking up a bathroom in a club. I think that's really what it's there for. You know?
We don't want to break any more toilets.
That and like I think if someone's like doing coke in a stall, they're like supposed to like be like, hey.
2 lines only. Okay.
Yeah.
There's other people waiting.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
I think, actually, funny, on that note, like, last time I was at a place that had a bathroom attendant, we actually did see someone just do coke on the table, like, 2 tables over from us. Just like...
The bathroom attendant just handed him a rolled up 100.
Yeah. And we're just like, wait, wow, you're not even trying to hide it.
Are they just trying to prevent sex from happening in the club bathroom?
Yeah.
That's got to be a big part of their job, too.
Which is weird, because a lot of those places that I've been that have bathroom attendants have, like, cologne and stuff. So they're trying to make it occur, just not in their bathroom. Which is fair.
Right.
It's like the ones in Texas that have cigarettes.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Like, you ever been to, like... I find bathroom attendants are more a thing, like, in the more south I go. Like, I've only ever been to one place in Philly that has them. But, like, I've been to, like, bars in like Texas where there was a bathroom attendant, and you know how they like sell stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the things they were selling were just like packs of cigarettes. Because I think in
Are
Texas
you allowed to light up down there?
in Texas, I think you're still allowed to smoke in bars. Like New Orleans, only until like a couple years ago, you could still smoke in bars. Because it's
Really?
like, yeah, and I mean, in places where it's so, like in New Orleans, I think the logic was like, there's a lot of places where, because it's so warm, you could just have the door open all the time. You know what I mean? So it's like ventilated naturally. So like, it wouldn't be a problem if people were like smoking. But yeah, you were allowed to smoke in New Orleans in bars like until a couple years ago.
My only thing with bathroom attendants is that they'll like hold hostage the paper towels and the
Yeah.
soap. You know what I
hate
mean?
that.
So you can't really leave without interacting with them. You know, they
have
sort
to
of like you
try
can like hold
really-
out your
you have
hand,
to try really hard.
hold out your hand sideways. They can like squirt the soap in your hand, and they like. So I've had them turn on the water for me. Like it's a motion sensor, but they like swip their hand for me.
It's
over the
weirdly,
motion sensor. Just like,
it's weirdly condescending in a way.
yeah. It's like you can't do all this.
And then
Where's my tip?
and then they do that, and then you're like, I don't have any cash.
You're like,
Because
I don't.
yeah,
It's 2019.
wanna-
What I don't know what you want.
and I'm just hoping none of them get square, and like
Oh,
are like,
God.
no, it's fine, you could do your card, and you're like there for like a minute and like have to like do all sorts of shit.
He has a laminated piece of paper with like a QR code, a Venmo username, PayPal.
True.
Oh God, fuck. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Like RFID payment technology where you can just tap your phone everywhere is going to ruin the easiest excuse for not giving somebody money.
Ah, too bad, no cash.
God, yeah,
Oh, you don't have your phone?
no, it's dead. It's dead. Sorry.
Hey man, what's the time? Pull out your phone time. Oh, cool. Yo, by the way, let me get you real quick for this buck.
It could be worse. At least in America, it's not like Europe where there are bathrooms you have to pay for. You know what I
Oh
mean?
God, yeah. Yeah.
That's all. There are like, I think it was in fucking like Hamburg or something, where a public toilet just ate €2 and then the door didn't open anyway. I was so mad.
You know,
Because it was the bathroom the whole time.
I'm not that opposed to paying for the bathroom. I think it's like an Aldi situation where in order to get a cart from Aldi, I don't know if y'all are, know that broke boy shit, but if you go to Aldi, you need to
Yeah.
put a quarter into the shopping cart to get a shopping cart.
Oh.
And then when you return the shopping cart, you get your quarter back.
Well, I think they're German, so that might be that's what they might be what they do in Germany. Like, actually.
I'm kind of into it. If you're committed monetarily for even like a quarter, you might not fuck it up that bad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm never carrying change ever.
I'm
You
into
should carry your groceries.
I am so into though, like when we were in Europe, we went and like we made dinner a couple times, so we went to like in Amsterdam a grocery store, right? And it was like it was like their equivalent of a supermarket, but there's like no space, so like it was just really small. So it was a grocery store, but they like pretty much only sold food and like they had a little bit for toiletries, I guess. But they were like super space efficient, and they didn't have like a lot of like. It wasn't like they had 8 brands for every single thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Like they were just like really efficient with how they used the space, and I liked it a lot. And it was way fucking better. God damn it!
But
Every time I'm in Europe, I just want to move there.
I want low carb, fat free, Parmigiano Reggiano, half cheese. I want all the
yeah.
choice, David.
So that's the thing. The Europeans aren't into that shit. You know, that's why it's better. It is like the tidying up thing, where it's like they just don't need that many things. You know, there's
Didn't they literally passed a law in Switzerland back in like what, the 60s, where you could only manufacture one type of cheese or something, or a couple types,
I didn't know about
2
that.
or 3, and they resulted in like this global excess of not Parmesan cheese, whatever sweet cheese from Switzerland.
I don't know.
And it resulted in this worldwide excess of it. And so then the Swiss government or somebody invented fondue just so the Swiss could
burn it?
offload all the extra cheese. Yeah.
What? That's
That's
hilarious.
legit. That's actually the history. of
I'm
fondue's
imagining
existence.
a frustrated
Oh my
man
God.
in front of a whiteboard. He just has pictures of cheese like, fuck, how do I offload this shit?
Yep.
Make the rich people drink it. That's the solution.
Yeah.
Drink the cheese.
Have you guys
Which-
ever? When was the last time either of you guys ever had fondue?
I went to a corporate party and they had a chocolate and white chocolate fondue fountain. It's pretty excessive.
Isn't like
pretty dope.
cheese really hard to clean off your like pot and shit? Like,
I was thinking that. Yeah.
and chocolate also is like impossible.
Work in a restaurant, yes, that would be very unpleasant.
Yeah,
But
Don't work in a fondue restaurant is the issue.
ooh, I would
guess if you
say
just melt it again.
Oreos in white chocolate in a shell of white chocolate is very good.
You know,
Ooh.
that's a good one. You know the other.
Is that your go-to? The first thing you reached for to the fondue was you're like, I'm gonna dip this Oreo.
You think bacon would be good in like a chocolate fondue type situation?
I
People
think
put like
we've
weird
talked about
salty
this.
crackers with dark chocolate or something.
Well, we've talked about this. I thought we were against the bacon chocolate thing, or were we just against putting bacon in everything? Like it's 2011. Remember that's what
I think
people
that's
were
what
doing.
it was.
It's
Yeah.
like I've been to like a cafe and they had bacon cupcakes, and I'm like, this has to stop.
Yeah, I think it went from bacon to sriracha, and I feel like now the sriracha thing is kind of on the way out, so I don't know what the next, like, hipsters put this into every single conceivable object in the known universe thing is.
Mayo.
I mean, it's aioli.
Yeah, it's probably
As an
aioli.
aioli, there you go. I was
Yeah.
gonna say the bacon trend became popular, and then Epic Mealtime just murdered it into the ground.
That is
And
true.
then we're on to the next. So I need the next crazy food channel to tell us what trend they're gonna kill next.
I always feel bad about. I never liked Epic Mealtime, but there was a Canadian sketch comedy group I like, and they basically had. They came up with the show that was Epic Mealtime but like years before Epic Mealtime existed, and I actually made their food a couple times. I think you might have been there for that.
I remember that.
And the show was actually really fucking good, I will admit. It was called like Man Cooking or something. And it was just like some like 26-year-old Canadian idiot just throwing all sorts of shit together, but it ended up delicious.
That's kind of how Epic Mealtime is. Just this, like 32-year-old retired history teacher throwing bacon and Jack Daniels on normal things.
You can retire at age 32 after being what?
I don't know. That's the only thing I know about. What's his name? Harley or something? The Epic Mealtime guy. He was a high school history teacher, and then when Epic Mealtime became popular, he quit.
Man,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
satisfying is that? You just
Yeah.
walk into the principal's office. Yo, I'm off this.
He's like, "Yo, I make bacon videos on YouTube. I quit."
Instead of like doing the make it rain with dollar bills, he's just throwing bacon everywhere. Later, punk.
Did you ever see the video that was the Binging with Babish guy criticizing other popular food internet videos?
Mm-hmm.
And he does like the Epic Mealtime one, and he's just like, man, respect. Like the only criticism he has of them is that they just eat like animals. Like he did the
The
one
way
where
they eat it.
they made like an Epic Mealtime casserole out of Big Macs or something.
That sounds like my dream.
And
A
then
McDonald's casserole.
they ask for a liter of the sauce or something.
Big Mac sauce.
Yeah, but like it's so weird to
Alright.
hear it in metric. It's like, can I get a liter of sauce?
I always loved the Epic Mealtime videos because they would always start with them going to the drive-thru and asking for ridiculous quantities of fast food stuff. And he would turn to the drive-thru and be like, "I need 30 Big Macs." And he would turn and stare at the camera while they answered. Just death stare at the camera.
I'll say, as someone who did that one time, it's a very good feeling when you and your stupid friends go and order 200 nuggets at some poor McDonald's. It's a very funny feeling.
Where they're like, "Yo, pull over to the front. We need a couple minutes."
Basically, they're just like,
They have that shit on deck.
that'll be a few minutes. And then they just literally shouted to the back, get more nuggets. Clear this place out.
I think my favorite Epic Mealtime. I think this was just like this is what killed the bacon craze. It was Epic Mealtime's collab with FPS Russia, the Russian gun channel.
Oh no!
Boy,
Oh
time.
no!
Remember that? It's just like in this day and age on YouTube, when do you think you're going to have a cooking channel / guns channel where they literally ate the food with a gun? He took a Desert Eagle, jammed it into the casserole, and ate it off the gun. You think that shit flies anymore?
Okay, that's a different thing
Wow.
I was going to say, because I was about to say, you literally described
that actually
a
happened.
genuine Ted Cruz presidential campaign ad. Do you remember that one?
He stole it from Epic Mealtime. No, I don't know.
God, fuck Ted Cruz. But he did things like, I'm here, Ted Cruz, I'm campaigning for president, and today we're gonna cook bacon with AR-15s. And they just wrapped bacon strips around the barrel of the gun and like went to a shooting range and just shot a bunch of ammo. And just like the barrel heats up so much that they like cooked the bacon on it.
Is it crispy?
What?
No, it didn't look very good. It looked pretty bad.
Probably tasted terrible.
Yeah. God. What an
Ew.
asshole.
Well,
Yeah, but it's like that. But no, so do they eat it barrel first?
yeah.
Like, so it looks like the gun's pointed at their mouth.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
no.
That,
This is an actual video.
I am not like a gun guy, but that freaks me out.
Yeah,
like,
if I were a gun guy, I'd
even
probably
me,
be pretty...
Like, I don't have any guns. I don't have a lot of experience with guns, but I know like some of the things, and just like when someone fucks up, like the pointing the barrel, like pointing the gun at thing, like I'm just like, oh my god, what? Like, how could you even do that? Freaks me out.
So you're saying you don't have guns and you're no gun expert, but don't put a Desert Eagle in your mouth? Is that what you're saying?
That's basically where I'm at, Jack.
How audacious.
I'm gonna be on controversial opinion.
Who the fuck are you?
Controversial
to pass
opinion. Don't put a
opinions?
Desert Eagle in your mouth.
I mean, they do say when you are at a gun range, only point the
Downrange.
gun downrange at things that you intend to destroy.
That's one of the rules. Yeah.
And, you know, in a matter of speaking, they are trying to destroy themselves. It is...
Right.
They are still upholding the rule.
They're gonna try to destroy this Big Mac casserole.
Yeah, they're just trying
Does
to.
that count?
They're trying to kill themselves slowly. Is what you're saying?
I would argue very quickly, but
That's all time scale. It's all your relative time scale.
yeah.
It's like a. Yeah, no, it's fucked up. It's like the. Who is it? I think it's like a 4chan. There's a 4chan fitness board, which is already. Imagine what the powerlifting section of 4chan's like, right? And I think
Oh, no.
my understanding is they just worship this like powerlifting meme lord guy who like
Z's?
is that Z's? Or
Yeah.
just like he like died at age 27 from like doing
Yep.
a ton of steroid. Like, do you know
Uh-huh.
what the story is with that? More than me?
I think he's just very aesthetic and very angelic looking. Like, he just looks like an anime painting made real.
I mean, he's dead, right? Like,
Yes.
that was the whole thing.
Or do they
Exactly.
worship Rich Piana, who is also... He was a very juiced up meme factory.
Rich Piano.
My
God, I remember him.
understanding with the people that post on rfit is it's really weird because it's like these incredibly jacked, super fit guys that get scared of talking to a girl.
Yeah.
It's like the weird, like they have like this weird dynamic going on in that board. Also,
There's a
4chan is
very-
insane.
There's a very drastic dichotomy between the people who genuinely feel like their lives have been made better through fitness and want to give that knowledge and inspiration to other people. And then, yes, just these like real beta dudes who think just because they're jacked that the world should become a better place all of a sudden. It's really the polar opposites kind of combating.
God, 4chan is it's such
I was
a
gonna say 4chan fitness is an oxymoron. What's the word that means complete opposite of what you expect?
it is oxymoron. It's
Oxymoron,
yeah, 4chan. God, I used to know someone in college who, man, I could never do this because it's too depressing. But he would read the 4chan. I think the relationships board is called R9K, and he would read the terrible stories of really awkward guys on there for fun. And I'm like, dude, I cannot be that sad ever in my life and laugh at it. I just could not do it. It's really bleak and depressing on that one. And it's just like really awfully awkward people.
Thank God middle school me avoided all that shit, because I feel like that's looking too long and hard into the deep dark mirror.
Yeah.
And a young mind should definitely not.
At a younger age, yeah.
Yeah.
That would fuck me up for real.
A lot of vulnerable
good.
people get chewed
My
out.
friends were into in middle school. My friends were into /B.
Oh, no.
Which, I mean, yeah, but if you're 14, I can understand.
Yeah.
It's like the only time B is funny in your life would be then.
I guess that's fair.
But here's the thing: you just know there's at least one man in his 50s that regularly posts on it, and that is the scariest man in the world to me. And it's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you finding this funny? You should not. How do you not recognize that everything about your relationship to this website is fucked up? Ugh, man.
I guess TLDR, internet culture, really good, really bad.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Man,
Best and worst.
This podcast took a turn.
And speaking of really good and really bad, should we do it came from the internet?
Yeah, let's get some points of light for the people to guide them through the darkness.
Let's do it. So every week we reach into the vast internet and pull out little nuggets for you to check out. This is It Came From the Internet. Kevin, go.
So here's a little bit of a throwback option, but there was a YouTuber named Tony who did a series of YouTube videos called Every Frame a Painting. He ended the series in
Classic.
2017, but basically he goes over film form in a way that no one else does. Most people analyze story content, but he analyzes cinematography and editing specifically. So there are episodes where he talks about how Edgar Wright uses editing to do comedy better than most American comedians. Or here's a problem with using temp music in the Marvel universe. And it's a really... I found one video in the recommended feed, and then I just went deep into the rabbit hole and had to rewatch all of them back to back to back. So if anyone's interested in video essays and that kind of thing about film, that's a great series to watch. Very informative.
Huh.
Man, I didn't know he ended it.
Yeah.
No, it's gone.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the production rate just slowly became nothing, and then it just kind of disappeared.
Ah, it's such a shame.
So
Yeah.
like our old podcast.
Yeah, basically.
Just
Except-
sort of crumble into dust.
Yeah, if one person longingly looks back at Terrace Housecast, that would be okay, I guess.
Yeah. There's still listeners.
Why? Okay, whatever. Let them chase their bliss.
It came from the internet. We were talking about the Aldi grocery carts. It reminded me, there's this documentary called Carts of Darkness, and it's this fantastic Canadian documentary about this group of homeless men in Vancouver. And they use shopping carts to collect cans and bottles to return for money, and that's sort of like their living. And then they also seriously race these carts down these hills in Vancouver.
Fuck yes.
They would go so fast. I think they clocked them at 60 or 70.
Whoa.
And so it follows these dudes who their lives are collecting cans and then racing these carts down the hills. And it's basically like the real life version of Trailer Park Boys. These guys, honestly, not even kidding.
So are they? Do you think that is we've been looking? Society's been looking for a new sports-based counterculture. There was surfing, then there was skateboarding. Is this the new one? This is the new one. These are the new admirable scumbags with a hobby. Is what you're telling me? Okay, cool. I'm into it. I'm down. I'm down.
They're the next. They're definitely first on the list to get sponsored by Red Bull. I'm calling it.
No, they gotta wait a bit, man. They have to stay underground.
Right. It's like how that downhill longboarding where those dudes fly down the hills in longboards. It's like that, except they ride grocery carts.
Wait, are they modified in any way?
They are kinda. So what they'll do, they will find the carts in the grocery store parking lot, and they'll sort of ride them around, and they'll explain why certain carts are good and certain carts are bad. And he's like, "Oh, this is a good cart." And then they do is the heavier the cart is, the faster it goes. So they load the cart up with rocks.
Oh no!
Debris, and they get fucking hurt because if they crash because they're riding a cart, they just have all this debris in their cart.
Oh boy!
Yeah,
that's
surprisingly not as many accidents as you would think, but
that's the thing.
And the title's real cool. Carts of Darkness for free on YouTube, by the way.
I love it
in its entirety.
I love it. It came from the internet is I've been watching. I don't know how I even got onto this, but have you ever heard of a YouTube series called Forgotten Weapons at all?
Nope.
Yeah.
You know about that, Jack? I've
Yeah.
been watching all that guy's videos, in which there's like a shitload. It's just this guy who, God, I don't even know how to describe how it looks. He's got like a really long goatee, but it's like the goatee where it's just like the little beard at the bottom is like 6 inches long, and then like a mustache.
Is this a
And then
Fu
he's got, like,
Manchu?
I guess so. He's got a ponytail. Are you looking him up?
Yeah.
But it's just like this guy who's like a gun historian at an auction company. And he just like, they'll have like these weird guns, and he just like goes and does these like 15-minute videos. And we're like, oh, here's what's interesting about it. Or here's why it's like designed. It's like really fascinating. And he's like super into it. But it's actually like a very interesting web series to like watch. And like he goes into like crazy detail on like why like these guns are designed this way, you know? And
Yeah.
also, it's very strange to me the things that you're allowed to buy at an auction company. Because at one point, they auction off an anti-aircraft gun. And I'm like, why are you allowed to
Only
do
in
this?
Texas.
Yeah, or it's wherever he is.
Yeah.
But he's just like, God, no one looks the part more than this guy for this series. That's what's great about
Yeah.
it. He looks
He absolutely looks like it.
exactly like he should look like.
If you said gun enthusiast, that is him.
Yeah. No, gun historian it is. That's the thing.
True.
He's past enthusiast.
He's a professional.
He's selling Soviet era, looks like his latest video, Soviet era machine pistols in front of just a wall of anti-aircraft and old like World War I machine
But
guns.
he's like
Looks like
the kind of person that's like, oh, he looks like there's two different submachine guns that like look almost identical to like anyone else that are on a table. He's like, oh, it's a regular one and a M3A1 submachine gun. It's like, oh, of course, you would
course.
just know that by looking at it for a second.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know.
just
That's
like
actually-
Kevin's about to. I was gonna say, just like Kevin's about to figure out the difference between his knockoff Off-White Prestos and the legit Off-White Prestos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If this guy could turn the amount of energy he puts into these videos towards any other like authentication service, I don't know. DHgate might be run into the ground immediately or something. I don't know.
Nah, see, that's the thing about DHK. Sometimes you find some real gems like Peppa Pig Supreme collabs, and sometimes it's like I don't even want the real shit anymore. You know?
This fake shit is better.
Yeah, for sure.
Is Supreme's stuff like, besides, how expensive is Supreme?
Too much.
Like, is it actually like, is it good in any way, like for the price? That's what I never understand about that.
Do it
stuff.
for the clout. The clout. That's what it's all about, Dave.
Do it for the clout, just like listening to Black Material get you clout. Also, Black Material is sort of like this fake shit is better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bootleg
But
life.
We have a YouTube channel. Check it out. Type in Blackmail Podcast on YouTube. Don't type in Blackmail. We're not anywhere in that search result. Check us out on Twitter.
Are we really not?
We tweet now, and we are on all your major podcasting platforms except for Stitcher because it's kind of fucked up right now. Just realized they got to fix that. So don't shout out to all the Stitcher people. You're not going to get this episode for a little bit. Anyway, thanks for watching, and not watching, listening this time. And we'll catch you later.
Peace.